I fainted in my own masterclass. Look, I'm not dramatic, but the story I'm about to tell you might prove otherwise. Let me take you back. A few weeks ago, our family went to the football. Now, normal Sunday afternoon, there were 6 of us, and my husband is an ex-Richmond football player, so of course we went to see his Mighty Tigers. I, on the other hand, am an avid West Coast supporter. Always have been, always will be. But we do have a handshake deal, me and my husband, that if Richmond and West Coast go together in a final and Richmond win, I have to transfer to Richmond. I have to become a Tiger. So far, 15 years, fingers crossed, that's never happened. Whoop, whoop. Anyway, we're at the football and it's about 4 p.m. and my daughter, my 11-year-old daughter says to me, Mum, I'm not feeling so great. And I'm like, uh-oh. 2 hours later, we had a whole stack of vomiting going on and gastro and everything in our house. Anyway, it was a Sunday night, so I stayed up with her the night, and the next morning I woke up with a bit of a headache and I was exhausted. Obviously, I had helped my 11-year-old for 24 hours get through vomiting and all the beautiful things that come with gastro. I do not need to explain all of that to you. So that was on the Monday. Monday, 5 o'clock, 24 hours later, exactly, she stopped vomiting. I'm like, great. Maybe it's food poisoning. So maybe it's food poisoning, but also I was feeling a little bit off. Tuesday comes around and I'm like, no, I'm feeling quite off. So I cleared my schedule. Serena, who's my sister and business manager, works with me. I cleared my schedule and she's like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm not feeling 100%, but maybe I'm just being weak. So I said, I'm going to do one call. I have a bucket by my desk just in case something needs to happen. And then I'm going to take myself off to bed. So I put myself into bed 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the Tuesday. Woke up on the Wednesday and thought, oh yeah, I don't feel too bad. Then I got out of bed. And I'm like, okay, clear my schedule except for one thing. You see, we had worked for weeks and weeks and weeks. We'd run Facebook ads. We had talked to our community and we were planning to run a Create Your Offer Masterclass on the Wednesday for 90 minutes. And I'm like, I cannot let down this community. We had 140 people registered for a masterclass, which at the moment, everyone, that's a lot. So I'm like, right, I can do this 90 minutes. I can do this. My daughter was still home because she's still a bit weak. So she was downstairs. I was upstairs in this studio where you see me if you're watching us on YouTube. And I thought 90 minutes, I can do it. Serena, in her wisdom, said, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure I can do it. I'm sure it will be okay. My Facebook ads person said, we've worked really hard, just suck it up. I'm like, yep, I'm sucking it up. I'm just going to do it. And no matter if anyone had said to me, don't do it, I would have ignored them because I wanted to show up for my community so badly. I had things to say, people to teach, all the things. So I showed up, as you do. We had about 50, 60 women on Zoom. It was recorded. Serena doesn't normally spend the entire masterclass with me. She just kind of lets people in. But she had said to me that morning, hey, because you're not feeling 100%, I'll just stick around and just make sure that everything works. I'm like, cool, that would be amazing. So I start the masterclass. I know I'm not my sparky self. I'm not faking it, but I am going, you know what? I'm here to serve my community and my community get the very best that they can get. And about 16 minutes in, I was like, oh, something's off. I'm not feeling that well. And then my notes started to have stars on them. And I'm like, oh, this is actually not very good. And so I took a break. I took a breather. I grabbed a drink and Serena covered me beautifully. She's like, she's just taking a break, ladies. She's just, having a drink of water. It's going to be fine. Came back. It was good. So everyone could see what was going on because it was recorded, kind of like this, if you're watching me. Okay, so we take a drink and we get on with things, right? About a minute later, I said to the ladies, I'm so sorry. We've picked up gastro or food poisoning or something, and I've been struggling with that. I didn't even get to finish the sentence, and I dropped, ladies, Miss Fainty Pants. So I was out of the picture. I was out of the picture on the floor, and I mustn't have been out for long. I mean, you can imagine the embarrassment to start with, right? But anyway, I was out on the floor and then I woke up and all I could hear was 50 women yelling my name. Emma, wake up. Emma, Emma, Emma. Okay, Most people would be embarrassed by this. And now I think it's funny, but a little bit of time has passed. Anyway, so I woke up from my fainting episode. I won't tell you the damage because I fell on boxes. So I won't tell you the damage of the bruising that has happened. But I woke up and I'm like, oh my goodness. I jumped back on Zoom and I kept going, no, I'm kidding. I did not keep going. Can you imagine? Anyway, I jumped up and everyone's like, oh my God, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, ladies, clearly I'm not okay. We're probably going to have to pull this Zoom call. We'll see you later. And I hung up. I took myself off to bed. Before I took myself off to bed, I had one of my beautiful thriving women on the call who lives around the corner. And she said to Serena on the call, I'm going to go over there. I'm going to go over there and make sure she's okay. So I didn't know any of this had happened in the background. Now, ladies, I can't help myself. I went back and watched the recording to see what kind of train wreck was happening. And Serena was so freaking calm. Now, she is a AMBO by trade, a mental health nurse. And everyone was like, Serena, we need to do this. Serena, we need to do that. And Serena's like, I'm going to call her husband. It's going to be fine. Anyway, Serena told me later that she was so stressed after the 2 hours of sorting everything out, she got a blood nose. And also she's in Western Australia. So she's watching her little sister drop to the floor and there is nothing she can do about it. Anyway, so that's fun. Let's start there. Now, I tell you this story because there is no chance that anyone could have talked me out of showing up for my community. And I also tell this story because this isn't about self-care. So the amount of commentary I got about you should look after yourself, you should do this. No, ladies, I was just sick. I didn't realize that I had gastro, food poisoning and COVID all rolled into one at that point in time. And so I was just sick. If anyone talks to me about self-care, I do my 20,000 steps a day. I nap every day. I've got good diet, good exercise, good water. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke. Like I am a clean liver, right? So this is not about self-care. This is just about stupidity, basically, and me wanting to show up for my community. But in doing so, you know what happened? My community showed up for me. These women on the call, there was no judgment. There was no, you should have done this, you should have done that. They were literally and genuinely so concerned. And it made me really reflect on what a community feels like. A community is when we come together for a purpose that is the same, right? All these women jumped on this call to learn from me about Create Your Offer Masterclass. Now, side note, we did send them not that recording, a different recording so that they still got the value in it, right? Because I could not let my community down. But as I reflected on this, and people do the whole, things happen for you, not to you, right? I always think, anyway, but this happened absolutely for me. Because it was at a moment in time when I watched the recording back, they were all just like, I'm sure it looked like a train wreck, but they were all just like, Emma, are you okay? Emma, you're okay. I don't know many communities that would just like go, oh, that's crazy. Hey, let's just yell her name out until she wakes up. Like, that's incredible. And then to have someone that's on the call who lives near me go, I'm going over there. That is just some sense of community going on there, right? And so this isn't about self-care, ladies. This is probably just about stupid choices, let's be honest. But I wanted to show up and serve for my community. So I took myself off to bed after that and didn't emerge for 7 days, as it turns out. Evie and I both got COVID, and so we isolated in my bedroom for 7 days. And one of the things that we do in the Thriving Human community is Grateful Friday. So kind of, what are you grateful for? That's kind of how we wrap the week up. And in my COVID hazed state, I had messaged one of the Thriving Women and said, can you just kick off Happy Grateful Friday for me? Because, of course, I can't show up on camera, right? So when you're sick, you're sick. Totally get it. Also, when you run a community, you kind of have to have a bit of a backup plan, right? So there's that as well. Anyway, and her name is Deb. She's amazing. So she jumped on. I didn't see any of this because I was COVID hazed. She jumped on and she said, so Emma's just asked me to jump on and do Happy Grateful Friday. So I thought that would be awesome. And I also thought it would be awesome to share our stories of gratitude about Emma. I'm like, okay, that wasn't the brief. So everyone jumped on and did, I'm grateful for Emma for this. I'm grateful for Emma for that. And it was unbelievable. And I thought to myself, that's what community is. They are cheering you on. They are cheerleading you as you go. They are uplifting. And it was so lovely. It was like a report card. You know, when you get a report card and you think, holy crap, I hope this is great. Or you get feedback, like it was immediate feedback, one after the other. And it made me just go, wow, I am so lucky and blessed to run a beautiful community, to be in some beautiful communities, and to really feel the love of that community. So if you want a nice community, Thriving Women will be open for 2026 sometime soon. But I want to say to you, there is enough people naysaying, being critical, being judgmental in this world. We do not need any more of that. But if you can genuinely be kind, non-judgmental, cheer people on and encourage them, wowzers, it makes a massive difference. So may this be my lesson. Yes, I am a determined woman. And yes, sometimes that goes into overdrive. And yes, sometimes I make silly choices. Do you know what? I'm just human at the end of the day. And you do make choices based on what you think is the right thing. And for me, I was like, I have 140 people registered. That means we'll have like 30 show up, 50 turned up. I have to be there. Now, could I have cancelled? Yes. Could I have rescheduled? Yes. But lesson for next time. We'll know better next time. Anyway, so that is my little story for today. I hope that you have a community that feels like that. It feels like a warm hug where you feel like if you fainted, they'd just yell your name until you woke up. That's all I've got today. Thanks for joining in today, ladies.